So thank you very much again. And different people from different locations brought advice to me, and I will try to use that advice wisely now. So first thing before I forget is, you mentioned that you will give the slides you showed today to us. We also recorded the whole session, the whole evening tonight on video. So we will also work on, working on the video to then provide it to the public as well. We will probably provide everything on the FAWN website, which I'm, if there's chalk, going to write on the board as well. And I find blue chalk, which is the color of our institute. So this is the famous www. It's too late now. So this is it. It doesn't matter. You have the chance to come down and write it down then. So this is the first thing. The second thing is, of course, we would like to thank the people that were involved in organizing this event. This is especially people from our institute as well, and usually these people come not to the front, so I would like to say thank you to Ms. Simon, Ms. Farajpour, especially also Mr. Mols and the whole community to make these things happening. So what I thought would be difficult to find an appropriate end for this session, and I was thinking and talked to Professor Rademacher, and he said, don't worry, I have the idea already, I had it before I knew this would take place, because we started this day with culture in Munich, with the Culture Award for Mr. Meadows, and we will try to end the day with culture, because there's a very important piece of culture in Ulm, and I hope everyone is excited already. I have it in the box here. It's not the original, but it's a one-to-one copy. So the museum in Ulm hosts the Löwenmensch, which is about 30,000 to 35,000 years ago, been produced in that area in the valley of the former very big river Lohne, which was at the time when the oceans were close to Ulm and people were having different habits, but their brain was probably of the same structure, but with a different operating system on it than we have it today. So culture is about technology and knowledge, scientific knowledge, and using it wisely. And I think people who produced that piece of art did that and could be a role model for us. So the museum in Ulm is right now working on a gift that is half the size, and they have 8 weeks of delay, which is not their fault, so we would have given that one to you. We will send it to you later, so this is a symbol of our gift to you. And I hope that's okay as well. So Professor Rademacher knows the whole story, and he will tell you, the auditorium, the story of the Löwenmensch, and then afterwards I'd like to ask President Weber to hand that over to you. But be careful, please do not touch the arms. This is the advice by the museum, because they're the critical point of that one. Thank you very much. Professor Rademacher, please.
Thank you. We have heard a lot of experience of a lifetime, and there would be much more to discuss, but this is not the topic for tonight. Tonight I thought about what is the right kind of gift for Professor Dennis Meadows, and I thought also what is the right thing to connect him with Ulm. Wherever you are on the earth, you ask yourself, is there any special about the place where you are? And the situation with Ulm is not so bad. You may have experienced this already. I think for most people, the most important thing about Ulm is Einstein. Because if you tell somebody, doesn't matter where in the world, Einstein was born here, he says, wow. I mean, we know he was not here for long. But the Lord Mayor of the last Lord Mayor of Ulm, he always said, but as we all know, the first 8 months are the most important months in life. Yeah? So with Einstein, we have something very important. We have also something very important with our church tower. It is not the highest in the world, but a lot of people believe it is the highest in the world. So we can always tell them it is the highest in the world. And then they think, wonderful, Ulm is the town with the highest church tower in the world. For romantic people, there is another point. If you go into history of agriculture, if you see like the Donau upwards, agricultural technology, the tools, the language came into this area. It's very important. Here is a Donau that has a few thousand kilometers until it reaches the Black Sea. It's the biggest thing we have in Europe, is the Donau. And thanks to the Iller, very important, the Donau doubles in Ulm. By the way, in Passau comes the Inn and it doubles again. But from Ulm, you can go by ship. And in the history of the Swabian export of people to the Balkan area, this was here the starting point. The ships went from here. For those of you with a romantic dimension, Sissi started here with the boat to find Franz Josef in Vienna. So everybody who likes Romy Schneider and this wonderful film, he knows the crucial point is in Ulm. But, and now we come to this, there is one crucial point more. Going back into the history of humankind, 35,000 years ago is a very important moment because it was a time when the modern human met the Neanderthal persons, and a lot of that happened in this area. Interesting is also that at that time there were almost no people. We cannot understand that today, but let's say if you take the whole area of the south of Germany and Switzerland and France, in this whole area, probably at most 10,000 people did live at that time. So one of the major problems was to meet anybody. Yeah. So today the problem is to find space. There the problem was ever to meet anybody. There was no disco. Yeah, you had to walk miles to find somebody. I remember I had another professor, he came from India, and I went with him to see the Ulm Münster. And he said to me, are you not afraid here are so few people? So he found this dangerous, this Ulm, so few people, that was for him dangerous. Yeah? These people at that time, they found nobody. But there was the cave lion. It was very dangerous. It was a very dangerous time, very few people. But the thing that we didn't know until recently was that the human brain and the cultural development already 35,000 years ago was so extremely developed that the people at that time were able to create aesthetic artifacts which need an enormous brain abilities to do. And one of the most earliest and most important artifacts of that type is this lion man. Because it is a combination of a human with the head of a lion. This needs an enormous ability in the brain to combine certain things. And then the whole thing is unbelievably aesthetical modern. That means this could be done by an artist today and would be something you can sell because it's so modern while it is 35,000 years old. It is also really a crimi, and I recommend it. Take time, read it. How this thing was ever found. How many, more or less, accidental things had to happen to be able to reconstruct this lion. And let me end with one thing. It could only be done because it is part of a mammoth teeth. That means this whole figure is made of one piece of material, and the chemical structure of this material at all points can today be used to identify where a small piece found in the ground has to be located in this piece of art, because that is the point where it had been in the tooth of the mammoth. So this is something very unbelievable. So Dennis, remember Einstein, but remember also this lion man. And now the president, Mr. Orton, and I, we will give it over to you. You have to be very careful. It's wonderful. It's an unbelievable piece, and in a sense, you can only have it in the University of Ulm. Thank you.
And of course, there has been one thing to add. You have to remember Einstein, you have to remember Sissi, you have to remember the Münster and everything Franz Josef Raderhammer told you, but you also have to remember that this is a place of a very beautiful and excellent university. Yeah.
So, thank you all, and there's something to drink outside and we can go on talking. Thanks, you have been here.